Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Anna. Welcome back to my channel, and we're here to talk about Bel-Air Season 1, Episode 6. So we're just going to jump right in. So they opened up the episode with Will in his room, and he's in his feelings because he on Instagram, and he found out that they clowning him back in Philly, which tells me that Trey took his ass back to Philly and was talking shit. And it's just like, he wasn't ever your friend. He jealous that you came down to Philly and you living in a nice mansion, and he feel like you got bougie, so he went back to Philly and told them that you was a sellout. And real friends wouldn't do that shit. None of my friends would, so I didn't appreciate that. So we skip to Hillary, and she's in the influencer house, and she's trying to record a video. And I don't know if these two other influencers, the two black guys, I don't know if they brothers, twins. I don't care. They irritating because they come in there knocking stuff over and recording it because they do pranks. So they in there getting on her nerves. And she gets a call from her mother, and Viv says that the caterer dropped out and she really could use Hillary's help. So of course Hillary wants to get out of that house, and she agrees to go help her mother with the catering. So while they're in the kitchen cooking and preparing, Ashley is helping Hillary, and Uncle Phil is sitting on the couch. And Ashley says, what did Ashley say? Ashley asked Hillary something, and Hillary was like, well, losing Gail was like losing another sister. And she's like, what you mean another sister? And she's like, well, Viv, and Aunt Vi and Mom actually fell out. And she like, I think it's because of Will. And before she could even get into the real tea, Uncle Phil like, ladies, let's cut the conversation. So there's some tea there that's gonna eventually come out. So we get to Carlton and Lisa, and today is real heavy for Lisa because this is it's a cancer event, but it's also the event that they do every year to honor her mother since her death. And she real down today. So Carlton is being extra in her faith, and they trying to do this poem or speech for the event that evening. And I feel like Carlton doing too much, and I feel like he only is helping her out and doing all this to get close to her. And I believe Lisa peeped that. At some point in this episode, she says, I feel like Carlton uses my vulnerability to get close to me. And that's absolutely what he's doing. So later on that day, Ashley ends up telling Hillary that she has a crush on this girl named Lucia. And I appreciate the fact that Hillary was supportive of her little sister. She didn't judge her. She didn't turn her nose up at her. She just like, tell her how you feel. That's the least you can do and see what happens. So Ashley is optimistic, and she goes off to kick it with her friends. She invited Lucia, and she invited the other little boy that actually has a crush on Ashley. And she invited them to the party. Excuse me. So we skip to Fred's wife, and she's infuriating. Fred's wife ends up talking to Viv about what she can do to get through to Lisa, because she says she's been trying everything and nothing is really seeming to work. And Viv is like, you just need to give her time and give her space. Like, she'll eventually come around. And then, I forgot to mention earlier, Viv, Fred's wife, and Lisa were all, in a circle, and a couple of Viv's sorors. And I think Lisa said she was going to Howard. So one of the sorors was like, girl, if you ever need a recommendation, I got you. And she's saying that, it's a moment for Lisa. Here go Fred's wife. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the baby. It kicked. I'm still not used to it. And it's just like, ma'am, you need a moment. You need a moment. So Lisa peeped that she needed a moment. She let her have that moment. She's like, oh, excuse me. So she excuses herself and she walks off. So then we get back to Fred's wife talking to Viv and asking her what she can do. And then she says, can you think I can do it? Make a speech? And she's like, I'm trying. I want to seem more than just. I don't know what she said, but she felt like people looking at her funny because everybody know what's tea. Like, you got with this man way too soon. After his wife passed away, less than a year, y'all was married. So, some in the milk ain't clean. And Viv had to tell her, like, no, how about you stop making things about you and let it be about Lisa and her mother, because this is what this event is about. This is not about you trying to make a speech to make yourself look better. We're not here for you. Ma'am, go sit down. So Michael Ealy tells Viv, no, he puts the $15K on her art. And then Phil saw him do it. And Phil went right behind him and put $25K. I'm like, this finna get real nasty. And Michael Ealy needs to back up. Because we already know he on BS with Unviv. So Lisa and Will ended up having a conversation. And they ended up making up. Because Lisa asked Will why he had been so distant. And he ends up telling her, well, I've been so distant because you look like you and Carlton booed up. And she like, we literally are just doing a speech. Like, this is not that. And after that, they end up talking about, losing parents. Lisa's mother died and Will's father was never in his life. So they both experienced a loss, just in different ways. And she said, today real heavy for me, and I really don't feel like Carlton. Like, I'm just tired of tiptoeing around his feelings. And of course Carlton heard that. So I'm like, I bet you any kind of money he about to go do a line after this. So Lucia and Ashley end up getting some time by themselves. I think they sent old boy to go get them something to drink. And Lucia like, oh, it looks like somebody liked you. And she was like, no, I'm not really into him. And she was like, well, I like somebody. And Ashley thinking she about to say her. And my dumb ass thought she was about to say Ashley. But of course, it's too good to be true. She like, I like Will. And I'm just like, I don't know why Ashley felt some type of way about that. I guess because she likes the little girl. However, she has no chance with Will. So you can still, like, might be able to still get in there. But whatever. By get in there, I mean as a girlfriend, not no weird shit. People like to assume. But after she tells Ashley that Ashley, that hurt her feelings. And she ended up making up some excuse about what she needed to help do something at the party. So, she sent them home. And she tells Hillary, what happened. And Hillary was like, well, I'm not going to lie to you, baby. This is not going to be your first heartbreak, and it ain't going to be your last heartbreak. So, it's okay. You'll be fine. She asked her if she wanted to, share her, I guess, sexuality with anybody else in the house, and she like, no, I already got my heart stumped on. I don't feel like all of that extraness, because it would absolutely be some extraness. So, of course, Carlton is getting high. He in his bedroom doing a line of Xanax. And Will come in there and, he's tried to talk him into doing the speech. And Carlton is having a breakdown right now. So Will ends up doing the speech with her. So after the speech, Fred's wife comes up to Viv. And she's like, oh, this is such a beautiful party. And she ended up saying something to the effect of, Fred said that I can do a speech. So I'm finna go. And she's like, no, you're not. When Fred has an event at his house, then that's where you're going to do a speech. But you're not going to do it here. I said, come on, Viv. You better let her know. It was so funny because as Viv was saying, her friend was in the back like, you know what we finna have to do, because I can still get down. You feel me? So after that, Fred and Phil get into it, and Fred ends up revealing that the reason Phil lost the endorsement was because now he's running for district attorney, and I'm just like, of course he lost the endorsement. It's like, that's messed up. And I'm pretty sure all the police officers are going to support Fred. I believe he's a police chief, so it's like, y'all know them boys in blue love to back each other up with each other's BS. So Phil tells Jeffrey, please keep an eye on Fred because he on some bullshit right now. And I also need you to look into Reed, I don't know his last name, Mike Wheatley. And Jeffrey was like, oh, I was already looking into him. I'll let you know what I find. I said, you better come on with it, Jeffrey. That's why you the house manager. You ain't no butler. You getting shit done. You whooping ass and taking names. I ain't mad at it. Jeffrey be 3 steps ahead of the game all the time, and I'm here for it. So Reed tells Viv that Fred's wife deserved everything that you gave her. And he ended up telling her that her painting sold for $25,000, and she like, who bought it? And he like, do that matter? Your husband bought it. But of course, Reed ain't finna tell you that, and he ain't finna tell you that he the one that put $15,000. Oh, my battery's gone. Don't die. Okay, I'm almost done. So Carlton thought, we skipped to Carlton in the room, and he's waking up from his binger. And Carlton thought Phil knew that he was waking up for a coked out binge. And Phil was like, I know why you acted that way. And as Carlton is about to start explaining himself and damn near finna tell on himself, Phil was like, I know it's your anxiety acting up. And I'm like, that ain't no damn anxiety. But yeah, let's go with that. Then we flip to Viv and Will. And Viv is telling, Will was like, you did your thing until you had to bring the Bel-Air out. I mean, not the Bel-Air, the Philly out. And she was like, every now and again, I go to war for Lisa, and I go to war for my family, and I'll do it again. And Viv ends up telling Will that he needs to give Trey some grace because he lost his best friend. And it's just like, no, that's bullshit. He went back to Philly and talked shit about me, and hence they was talking shit about me online. So I wouldn't be fooling with Trey like that. Like, my best friend wouldn't be upset that I glowed up. Sorry. You want to continue to stay a hood because you have the opportunity to come out here every weekend, but you blew it. Fuck Trey. Hillary records herself in the kitchen when she gets back to the influencer house, and she got on this lavender lingerie, and she about to make some type of dessert. That's gonna backfire on her. I'm already knowing that's gonna backfire, and it's probably gonna affect Phil's campaign even more. So Will and Lisa end up talking by the pool, and Lisa like, why you been so distant? And he like, I don't want to be another person that you gotta navigate around. And I feel like Will is just saying all the right things, like, and I feel like that's making Lisa fall for him more and more. Will tells her he's willing to give her the space she needs, to heal. And that turns Sis on even more, and they end up kissing, and then we end it. So yeah. I'm going to also post episode 7. I need to charge this phone. Again, I got so much to do. So much to do. So little time. Let me get off of here for this thing. This has been Bel-Air Season 1, Episode 6. And I will see you guys in the next one.